what's up guys? So we are doing lesson 4.3, which is doing with something called angle bisectors today, okay? So let's go ahead and jump into that. All right, so the first thing we're gonna look at are my key points. So the first thing we need to look at is an angle bisector is a ray. So what that means is whenever I end up having an angle and I have a angle that's being bisected, so here's my angle, and the angle's being bisected, that's gonna be a ray, just to let you know to clarify that. And an angle bisector cuts the angle in half into equal parts. So if it tells me, remember, the word bisect means cut in half. It is cutting the angle into two equal parts. So what that means is that if I was to cut this one in half, meaning bisect it, that means this angle is gonna be equal to this angle. So for instance, if this was 20 degrees, then that means this is 20 degrees, which means the whole thing would be 40. So again, bisect means cut in half. It is a line that is bisecting, cutting that angle into two equal parts, okay? All right, so let's jump over to example number 1 and put this into use. All right, so on example number 1, it says ray BC bisects angle ABD. What is the measure of angle ABC? So right now, if we look, it's telling me ABD. So from A to B to D, and BC is bisecting that. So it's cutting it into two equal angles. So picture if I did not have this ray and I just cut this thing down the middle, this angle and this angle are gonna be equal because they have been bisected. So that means CBD is going to be equal to ABC because it's being bisected. So right now, if CBD is 62, then what that tells me is ABC is also 62 because these two angles are going to be equal because it's being bisected. It's that simple to understand, okay? So then to find the whole thing, I would literally just add 62 together to get the whole thing if I needed to, okay? Let's jump over to example number 2. All right, so on example number 2, it says ray BC bisects angle ABD. So again, I have ABD is being bisected by BC, meaning being cut in half, two equal parts. So what is the value of X? So I know since this ray is cutting the whole thing into two equal parts, I know that ABC, so ABC is going to be equal to CBD. Those two angles are going to be equal to each other. So right now, ABC is going to be 64, which means CBD is also, but right now you have an expression. So it's going to be 5x minus 4, or minus 6, sorry. That should be minus 6, that was my bad. 5x minus 6. So now all I got to do is solve. So I'm going to add 6 on both sides, which will be 70 equals 5x, and then I'm going to divide by 5 on both sides. So x is going to be equal to 10, is going to be 14. So x is equal to 14. So now just so you know, on your skill check, there might be something where it's asking you for the actual angle. So if I needed to know the actual angle of CBD, here it's asking for x, so that's the answer. But if it was asking for CBD, I would have to take x and plug it back into my expression to get the actual measurement, which, again, if I plug 14 back into here, it would equal 64 anyway, okay? Because they're equal anyway, okay? Let's go to example number 3. All right, on example number 3, it says ray BC bisects angle ABD. So again, I have a big angle ABD, and it's being bisected by BC, meaning cut in half. So that means the two smaller angles are going to be equal. So it wants to know what is the measure of angle ABC. So let's go and look at the concept. So if that is cutting it in half, I know ABC is going to be equal to, so this angle right here is going to be equal to DBC or CBD, however you want to say it. I'll go ahead and say DBC. So those two angles are equal because it's being bisected. These two are equal. So that means these two expressions will be equal to each other. So ABC is 10x plus 15. And DBC is 8x plus 27. And then all I got to do is solve. So I'm going to subtract 8x on both sides to get all the x's on one side. So I should get 2x plus 15 equals 27. Then I'm going to subtract 15 on both sides, which is going to be 2x equals 12. and then I'm going to end up dividing by 2 on both sides. So x is going to be equal to 6. So I got the value of x, but it's asking for the measure of ABC. So just like I said in the last example, if you needed to find the measurement of the angle, I have x. Now I got to plug x back into that. So ABC is 10x plus 15. So I got to plug x in for x. So 10 times 6 plus 15. 10 times 6 is 60, plus 15 is going to give you 75 degrees. So ladies and gentlemen, your final answer is going to be 75 degrees because it's asking for the angle measurement, not for x. So make sure y'all pay attention to that during your skill check, okay? All right, and lastly, you guys have your challenge question down at the bottom right-hand corner of your notes. Again, I always say this is a gauge to see if you're ready to move on. So after you get done with the examples, go ahead and try and complete the challenge question. If you can do this on your own and you understand how to do this, then you're ready for your skill check, okay? Ask me to call over, I'll end up opening it for you. If you don't understand, call me over, I'll help you out with a couple examples. Hopefully I can get you to understand it, and then we can move on to your skill check. Good luck.